Yo, what up, guys? It looks like we had a special guest wanted to pop up, but I'm not sure if Joe's gonna come back. We'll find out in a minute. Um, I ended the other stream. I'm tired. I won't lie. I'm exhausted. I do want to go lay the fuck down and get some sleep. I ain't gonna lie, but we'll see if I guess this is the hours everybody wants to be doing stuff, but I don't know, man. That's why I cracked open the smoke sesh real quick. I'm gonna have this. Hold on. I only have one beer, so I'm gonna have one more beer. Smoke a little bit. By the end of this beer, then I'm gonna probably, if nobody comes up here, I'm definitely going to bed. Um, so right now I am pulling up the. I'm gonna add the link. Oh shoot, that's the wrong link. It's a new link. Hold up. Added the new link up there. I'm definitely tired, so I might end up letting them run the panel. If they come up here. Um, oh man, I'm so tired. I can't even think right now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm so tired. Damn, so tired.
Cluster munition that was attached to the war.
Get to Trey Yingst. He's live on the ground just outside of Tel Aviv. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, Bill, Dana, good morning. I do want to just start with some breaking news here before I show you the scene of one of these cluster munition impacts just outside of Tel Aviv. But I'm told by a senior Israeli official that the Israelis just struck the Supreme Council gathering where the Iranians were meeting to choose a new supreme leader. This is a significant development and again speaks to the Israeli intelligence about this war. They just targeted the meeting in Tehran where what's left of the leadership was gathering to choose a new supreme leader. The Iranians are continuing their attacks against Israel. Right now, we are in the community of Bnei Brak. It's a religious community outside of Tel Aviv. And you can see where the police and first responders say part of a cluster munition that was attached to the warhead of a ballistic missile slammed into this apartment block. 7 people were wounded, 1 woman moderately. And I want to just show you the scene here in Bnei Brak. You can see the amount of destruction behind me. There is debris and rubble all over this community. And again, police and first responders say it's a miracle that no one was killed. People were home at the time, and this entire area is filled with children because the Israelis are celebrating the holiday of Purim. And so just a remarkable scene here. You can see that all of these kids are dressed up for Purim. This is considered one of the most joyful holidays in Judaism. It commemorates the events of the Book of Esther, and it is when the Jews of ancient Persia were saved by a plot to destroy them. And so this is a holiday here where people dress up in costumes and they celebrate, and this whole neighborhood is filled with families and children, and thankfully none of them were seriously injured or killed by this missile attack. But this came, as you saw live on Fox, in a large barrage launched from the Iranian regime, and one of those cluster munitions exploded, and there's damage not just to this building, but this entire area.
Like,
4,000 years ago, in a tent pitched in the middle of the desert, a man made a decision that no treaty, no war, and no diplomacy has been able to undo. Tonight, as missiles streak across the sky between Israel and Iran, very few stop to ask, why? Not the political why, not the territorial why, the deeper why, the one that was written long before these nations existed. Stay, because what you are about to hear will change the way you see this conflict forever. To understand the present, we must return to the beginning, not to the dawn of modern states, not to the birth of the UN, nor to the wars of the 20th century. We must go back to a prosperous city located in what we know today as southern Iraq. Its name was Ur of the Chaldeans. There lived a man named Abram, whose name had not yet been changed. He had a wife named Sarai, possessions, social standing, and seemingly everything a man could desire. But history records a devastating detail. Sarai was barren. She had no children. Genesis chapter 11, verse 30, records it with surgical detachment, as if scripture wanted the reader to feel the weight of that reality before continuing. Because that sterility was no small matter. It was the invisible crack upon which a civilizational fracture would be built. It was then that the call came. Genesis chapter 12 describes a voice that commanded Abram to leave his land, his relatives, and his father's house to journey toward a land that would be shown to him. No map, no coordinates, just a promise. And what a promise. God told him that he would make him into a great nation, that he would bless those who blessed him, and that through him all the families of the earth would be blessed. It was a monumental covenant, and there was just one problem. The man who received it could not have children with his wife. Abram set out at the age of 75. He took with him Sarai, his nephew Lot, the servants, and all his accumulated possessions. He crossed the land of Canaan to the oak grove of Moreh, near Shechem, where God appeared to him again to clarify the promise. His descendants would inherit that land. Abram built an altar, the first of many. Each altar was a mark on the land, a testament that a man continued to believe in what he could not see. 5 years passed. 10 passed. The promise remained a promise, and Sarai's womb remained empty. Genesis chapter 15 recounts a breathtaking scene. God took Abram outside the tent under the eastern night sky and told him to count the stars if he could. That would be his number. And the text says something that has been studied for centuries. Abram believed the Lord, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Not a ritual, not a sacrifice. The faith of a man who looked at the stars and chose to believe, even though his wife still could not conceive. But believing doesn't mean the pain disappears. Put into perspective what it means to live under that tension for years. You have a divine promise of countless offspring. You've left everything to pursue it, and every month biology confirms that the gap between the promise and reality doesn't close, but widens. Abram was 85 years old. Sarai, 75. It was in that context of desperate silence that Sarai made the decision that resonates to this day. Genesis chapter 16 begins with her presenting a proposal to her husband. She acknowledged that God had closed her womb. She did not question the promise. She simply offered a practical solution, one that was culturally acceptable at the time. She had an Egyptian servant named Hagar. She suggested Abram have a relationship with her, and perhaps through this, the promise could be fulfilled. It was a common practice in the ancient Near East. GKE, the Code of Hammurabi, written centuries earlier, already regulated such arrangements. A wife who could not conceive could offer her servant to her husband, and any children born from that union would legally be considered the wife's children. It was a human solution to a problem God had promised to resolve supernaturally. The biblical text simply states that Abram heeded Sarai's call. There is no record of any doubt. There is no mention of him consulting God. After 10 years of waiting in Canaan, the patriarch accepted the proposal. Sarai took Hagar, her Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. A short phrase to describe the moment that would split history in two. Hagar conceived quickly, and here the first conflict began. The sacred text is brutally honest about the dynamic that took hold in that tent. When Hagar realized she was pregnant, she began to look at her mistress with contempt. The servant who carried the patriarch's heir in her womb could not hide what she felt for the woman who remained barren. And Sarai, who had orchestrated the entire arrangement, couldn't bear that look. She confronted her husband. She told him that the affront she was suffering was his responsibility. He had given his servant into her arms, and now she was being scorned by that same woman. May the Lord judge between them. Abram responded by turning the responsibility back on Sarai. Hagar was Sarai's servant. Let her do with her as she pleased, and Sarai afflicted her. The Hebrew term used in the text is powerful, the same one used to describe the oppression of the Israelites by the Egyptians generations later. So harsh was her treatment that Hagar fled. An Egyptian woman, alone, pregnant, venturing into the deserts towards her homeland. It was practically a death sentence, but Hagar was not alone. The angel of the Lord found her by a spring in the desert on the way to Shur.
You're here because you want to make a difference. Quantum University's new humanitarian award.
And here's something that many overlook. Hagar became the first person in the entire Bible to receive a personal visit from a heavenly messenger, as the very first. It wasn't a patriarch, it wasn't a priest, it was an Egyptian servant, a fugitive in the middle of the desert. The angel asked her where she had come from and where she was going. She answered honestly. She was fleeing from her mistress. Then came the difficult command. She had to return and submit to Sarai's authority. But along with that command came a promise that was staggering in its magnitude. The angel told her that he would greatly multiply her descendants beyond number. The son she carried in her womb would be named Ishmael, because the Lord had heard her affliction. Observe the magnitude of that promise. It was almost identical to the one God had made to Abram. Countless descendants, a magnificent multiplication. God was promising the Egyptian servant something remarkably similar to what he had promised the Hebrew patriarch. 2 numerous nations would be born from the same root. But the angel added something more about Ishmael, a prophetic description that pierces the millennia like an arrow. He would be an untamed man, like a wild donkey among men. His hands would be against everyone, and everyone's hands against him, and he would dwell opposite all his brothers. It was a prophecy of perpetual tension. The unborn child already had inscribed in his destiny a relentless conflict with those around him. Hagar returned, she submitted, and she gave birth to a son whom Abram named Ishmael. The patriarch was 86 years old. For the first time in a long time, he had an heir. For 13 years, Ishmael was Abram's only son. He grew up in his father's tent, learned his ways, and assumed the place of the firstborn. For all practical purposes, he was the one who would receive the promises. Then God intervened again. Abram was 99 years old when the Lord appeared to him and established a formal covenant. His name was changed to Abraham, father of multitudes. Sarai became Sarah, princess. And then came the news that would alter everything. Sarah, at 90 years old, would give birth to a son. His name would be Isaac, and with him, God would establish an eternal covenant. Abraham's reaction was revealing. He fell on his face and laughed. It wasn't exactly a mocking laugh. It was a laugh of astonishment, disbelief mixed with a joy he didn't know how to process. And then he made a request that shows how much he loved the son he already had. He told God that it was enough for Ishmael to live in his presence. It was a father pleading for the son he had raised for 13 years. God heard that plea. He answered that he had blessed Ishmael, that he would make him fruitful and multiply greatly, that he would father 12 princes and become a great nation. But the covenant, the specific and eternal covenant, would be established with Isaac, the son Sarah would conceive the following year. The distinction was definitive. Both sons would be blessed. Both would become powerful nations. Both would have numerous descendants. But only one would bear the covenant. Only one would be the heir to the promise made decades earlier in Ur of the Chaldeans. The blessing was shared, the alliance exclusive. If you're finding value in this teaching, now's a great time to like and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple way to help us continue sharing sound biblical content like this, and you won't miss any new videos. Sarah conceived and gave birth to Isaac when Abraham was 100 years old. And the impossible son had arrived, the heir to the promise, born to a 90-year-old woman and a centenarian man, breathed, cried, existed. Sarah declared that God had given her cause for laughter, and that all who heard the news would laugh with her. The laughter of disbelief had been transformed into the laughter of celebration. Isaac grew up and was weaned. Abraham prepared a great feast to commemorate the event, and it was during that feast that the latent conflict erupted to the surface. Sarah saw Hagar's son laughing. The Hebrew term used in the text can simply mean to play or laugh, but it can also carry darker connotations, such as to mock or ridicule. The ambiguity is deliberate. What exactly Ishmael was doing is not entirely clear in the story. What is absolutely clear, however, is Sarah's reaction. She demanded that Abraham expel the servant and her son. The son of that slave woman should not inherit alongside Isaac. It was a radical demand. Ishmael was about 17 years old. He had grown up as Abraham's son, his only son for more than a decade. And now he was to be sent into the desert with his mother, with a skin of water and a little bread. The text says that Abraham found this very distressing because of his son. He was a father being forced to choose between two sons he loved. But God intervened. He told Abraham to listen to Sarah in everything she said, because through Isaac his descendants would be reckoned. And as for the son of the slave woman, he would also make a nation of him, because he was Abraham's offspring. The next morning Abraham got up early. He took bread and a skin of water and placed them on Hagar's shoulders. He gave the boy to her and sent her away. Try to grasp the weight of that scene. A father rising before dawn to say goodbye to his own son. Preparing meager provisions, placing a can of water and some bread on the shoulders of a woman who will walk into the desert with a teenager. The text records no farewell words, no embraces, no tears from Abraham. Only that he said goodbye. Hagar wandered off into the desert of Beersheba. The water ran out. She placed Ishmael under a bush and walked about a bow shot away. She said she didn't want to see the boy die. She sat down in front of him and wept aloud. It was the depths of despair, a mother waiting for her son to die of thirst in the desert with no strength or hope to do anything but weep. But God heard the boy's voice. The angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and asked her what troubled her. Nay, he told her not to be afraid, but to stand up and take the boy by the hand, for God would make him into a great nation. Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well of water. She filled the skin and gave her son a drink. Ishmael survived. He grew up in the desert of Paran. He became an archer. His mother found him a wife from Egypt. And from the desert, far from his father's tent, far from the brother who had taken his place, Ishmael built his own story. Genesis chapter 25 lists his 12 sons, 12 princes according to their peoples, exactly as God had promised. The Ishmaelites, a nation born of exile. Their descendants spread from Havilah to Sur, across from Egypt, in the direction of Assyria. They were desert peoples, nomads, traders, and warriors. Over time, they intermingled with other Arab tribes and became part of the great mosaic of peoples who inhabited the Arabian Peninsula. Islamic tradition, which arose more than 2,000 years later, identifies Ishmael as the ancestor of Muhammad and of the Arabs in general. It is a connection that hundreds of millions of people maintain to this day as a central part of their sacred identity. Isaac's descendants followed a different path. Isaac fathered Jacob, and Jacob, after a night of wrestling with a heavenly being at the ford of the Jabbok, received the name Israel. His 12 sons.
Trying to give these guys some time to come through. I don't know how much more I got in me. Man.
Became the 12 tribes of Israel. Slavery in Egypt, Exodus, conquest of Canaan, monarchy, division of the kingdom, exile in Babylon, return. The story of Isaac's sons is the story of the people of Israel, and eventually of the modern state that bears that name. But then the inevitable question arises, where does Iran fit into this story? The connection isn't as direct as Ishmael's with the Arabs. The Persians, ancestors of modern Iranians, are not descended from Ishmael, according to biblical or historical records. The Persians were an Indo-European people, ethnically distinct from the Semites who descended from Abraham. How then did a conflict that began between the children of Abraham transform into the clash between Israel and Iran? The answer lies in overlapping layers of history. The Persians entered the biblical narrative dramatically when Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon in 539 BCE. It was Cyrus who allowed the exiled Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. The book of Ezra records his decree in detail. Isaiah, in chapter 45, even calls Cyrus the Lord's anointed, an extraordinary honor for a pagan king. At that point in history, Persians and Jews were allies. The tension began to brew later. The book of Esther, set in the Persian court during the reign of Ahasuerus, recounts a conspiracy to exterminate the Jews, orchestrated by Haman, a high-ranking official of the king. The story concludes with the salvation of the Jewish people and the punishment of their enemies, but it reveals something important. Even in periods of apparent calm, undercurrents of hostility were bubbling to the surface. What transformed Persia into Iran and aligned it with the Arab peoples against Israel was the Islamic conquest. In the 7th century CE, Muslim Arabs conquered the Sasanian Persian Empire. Persia, which had been Zoroastrian for over 1,000 years, gradually converted to Islam. And with that conversion came the adoption of narratives that identified the Arabs, and by extension, Ishmael, as privileged peoples within sacred history. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 completed the transformation. Iran became a theocratic republic that officially adopted the Palestinian cause and opposition to the State of Israel as cornerstones of its foreign policy. It was no longer just an ethnic or historical issue. It was ideological, religious, and existential. Modern Iran, without being biologically descended from Ishmael, without being Arab, positioned itself as a leader of the Islamic world in its confrontation with the Jewish state. Consider the irony of that configuration. A people not descended from Abraham became the main adversary of another people who were. But by adopting the Islamic narrative, Iran also inherited the original tension. Ishmael versus Isaac. The son of the slave woman versus the son of the promise, the 4,000-year-old wound. Some argue that this interpretation oversimplifies modern geopolitics, and there is truth in that objection. The conflict between Israel and Iran involves oil, regional influence, nuclear programs, and proxy disputes through armed groups in different countries. It cannot all be reduced to a family feud from 4 millennia ago. But the underlying reality cannot be ignored either. When Iranian leaders speak of wiping Israel off the map, and when Israeli leaders describe Iran as an existential threat, something deeper is at work than mere strategic calculation. There is a collective memory. There is a narrative of belonging and exclusion that transcends immediate politics. The stories that people tell themselves matter, and the stories of Israelis and Iranians, by different paths and through centuries of transformation, converge at the same point of origin. A tent in the desert, an elderly man, 2 women, and 2 children who never found a way to share the same horizon. The biblical text records a final encounter between Abraham's 2 sons. It was at their father's funeral. Genesis chapter 25 verse 9 says that Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite, opposite Mamre. There was Abraham, buried beside Sarah, his wife. The 2 brothers, separated by decades, reunited before the body of the father they had both loved and by whom they had both been loved. There is no record of words exchanged, of reconciliation, of renewed bonds. Only 2 men fulfilling their duty to bury their father, and then silence. Ishmael died at the age of 137. His descendants settled from Havilah to Shur. Isaac's descendants continued in Canaan. 2 peoples, 2 histories, 1 ancestor. Archaeologists still debate the exact historicity of these narratives. Where exactly was Ur of the Chaldeans? What was Abraham's route to Canaan? Are the age numbers literal or symbolic? These academic questions have their own value, but for the millions of people living through this conflict today, the question is not archaeological. It is existential. When a young Israeli man serves in the defense forces on the northern border, watching for threats from Iranian-backed groups, he carries a story with him. When a young Iranian man listens to speeches about the illegitimacy of the Zionist state, he also carries a story with him. They are different narratives, told from opposing perspectives, but both converge at the same point of origin. A tent in the desert, an aging man, 2 women, 2 children, and a fracture that time has not been able to heal. The tragedy of this story does not lie in the wickedness of its protagonists. Sarah was not cruel in offering Hagar. She was a desperate woman, trying to find a way to fulfill a promise that seemed impossible through ordinary means. Hagar was not a villain for feeling pride in carrying the patriarch's heir in her womb. She was a servant who for the first time possessed something her mistress could not have. Abraham was not heartless in accepting the arrangement, nor in sending Ishmael away at dawn.
Come on up, Joe.
He was a man torn between 2 sons, obeying what he understood to be divine guidance. They were all trying to do the best they could with the circumstances they faced. And yet, the result was of a magnitude that none of them could have foreseen. 4,000 years of tension were born not of villainy, but of humanity, of impatience with God's promises, of human solutions applied to problems that required divine patience.
Yo, come on up. I started the smoke sesh for you, bro.
Of jealousy, fear, and wounded pride, the most common ingredients of human experience, combined in a configuration that produced consequences still measured in blood today. And perhaps that is the most disturbing lesson of this entire narrative. Great historical fractures do not always stem from great evils. Sometimes they arise from small decisions, understandable at the time, that unleash irreversible consequences. A wife who offers her servant, a husband who accepts, a servant who looks on with disdain, a lady who responds harshly, an expulsion at dawn, a boy weeping with thirst in the desert. Each step had its own logic for the person taking it. None seemed at the time to be creating a civilizational fracture, but the sum of those steps produced exactly that. Abraham died at the age of 175. The text says he departed in a good old age, advanced in days, full of years, but it doesn't say he died in peace. How could he? He had seen his 2 sons separate. He had seen Hagar flee into the desert. He had sent Ishmael away with a skin of water and a piece of bread. The story that began with a promise of blessing for all nations ended up creating one of the most enduring fractures in human civilization. Not because God failed, but because human beings tried to accelerate the divine plan with their own solutions. And today, 4,000 years later, the world is still grappling with the consequences of a night when a man entered his wife's servant's tent. What seemed to solve one problem created a conflict that no war has been able to end, and no peace has been able to fully heal. If this content made you think, we invite you to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming videos where we continue exploring the biblical roots of the major themes shaping our time. Of this world never understood that behind every one of their movements, someone had already written the ending. And there is one nation in particular whose name appears in the most ancient scrolls of humanity, long before its cities rose, long before its kings ever took a throne. That nation exists today. You know it. And what the Bible says about its destiny is going to change the way you see the world. We are talking about Iran. And what the scriptures reveal about this territory is not a recent interpretation or a modern theory. It is a thread that runs without interruption from the book of Genesis all the way to the apocalyptic visions of the prophets, with a coherence that no human mind could have fabricated alone. Get ready, because this is only the beginning. To understand the origin of this people, we have to go back to the reset point of all human civilization. After the flood, when the waters receded and Noah descended from the ark with his family, God had not only preserved 8 lives, he had planted the seed of every nation that would ever populate the earth. And in chapter 10, verse 1 of Genesis, we find what scholars call the Table of Nations, the first genealogical record of the post-flood world, a kind of ethnic map drawn by the hand of God. Within that map, 2 names emerge as the direct patriarchs of the people who would inhabit the lands of modern-day Iran. The first is Madai, son of Japheth, whose descendants became the Medes, a mountain people, hardened and warrior-like, who settled in the northern highlands. The second is Elam, son of Shem, from the same lineage that would later produce Abraham. His descendants established themselves to the southwest, in the fertile plains bordering the Persian Gulf. 2 distinct lineages, 2 different temperaments, one single prophetic narrative. And if this study is already opening something in your understanding of Scripture, take a second right now. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. That way you make sure you don't miss any of the studies coming next, because what lies ahead goes even deeper. The first appearance of this people in the biblical narrative is not a peaceful one. It happens in the middle of the oldest recorded conflict in all of Scripture. In chapter 14 of Genesis, we find the first international war in written history. Chedorlaomer, king of the Elamites, led a coalition of 4 eastern kings who marched into Canaan, subduing cities, capturing populations, and taking Lot, Abraham's nephew, as a prisoner. Elam was not a peripheral nation. It was the first power bold enough to touch the people of the promise. And yet Abraham did not wait for reinforcements. With only 318 trained men, he launched a night raid against the invading armies, defeated them, rescued Lot, and sent the eastern kings retreating empty-handed. From that very first encounter, a tension was carved into the sacred narrative that would run through all of biblical history, the human might of the East against the supernatural intervention of God. And in that tension, God has never yielded an inch. The centuries moved forward, tribes multiplied, clans became kingdoms, and kingdoms became empires. From the fusion of the descendants of Madai and Elam emerged what the world would come to know as the Persian Empire, a structure of power stretching from the eastern edge of India to the shores of Ethiopia, covering more than 2 million square kilometers and subjugating dozens of distinct peoples. But what is truly extraordinary is not the size of that empire. It is that God had described it with precision before it ever existed. The prophet Isaiah was writing in Jerusalem around 700 BC. The Persian Empire did not yet exist. Media was barely a confederation of mountain tribes. And yet Isaiah not only announced that God would use Elam and Media as instruments of judgment against Babylon, he also...
This is a lot. There's a lot going on with this war. There's a lot going on with just the history of our world. I'm pretty burnt out, man. Today's been a long ass day. It's going by so slow. Shit.
prophesied something humanly impossible, that a pagan king, belonging to a nation that had never known the God of Israel, would be called by the Lord with the title of Anointed One, and commissioned to liberate the Jews from captivity and order the reconstruction of the destroyed temple. And that king would be named more than 150 years before his birth. Chapter 45, verse 1 of Isaiah. This is what the Lord says to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I take hold of to subdue nations before him. A Persian name, written on a Hebrew scroll, more than a century and a half before that man was born. No human tradition has anything close to this. But before Cyrus stepped onto the stage, God had already placed a witness at the heart of the enemy, a young Hebrew boy who was torn from Jerusalem as a teenager after Nebuchadnezzar's armies had razed the city to the ground. His name was Daniel. Brought to the center of the Babylonian Empire, surrounded by the opulence and idolatry of the most powerful court in the ancient world, Daniel did not dissolve into that environment. And because of that unbreakable faithfulness, he received something no other captive had ever been given: the ability to see what was hidden. The first great revelation came through Nebuchadnezzar himself. The king was shaken by a dream so disturbing it left him sleepless and trembling. He summoned all the wise men and astrologers of Babylon with an unprecedented demand. They had to not only interpret the dream, but reveal it first without anyone describing it to them. No one could. The execution order was issued until Daniel arrived. Standing before the most feared monarch of his era, he described the dream with precision and then interpreted it with a clarity that left the king speechless. Nebuchadnezzar had seen a colossal statue.
Yo, what up, Joe?
What up, yo? I ain't been watching, so I don't really know what's going on.
This is just the history of the war between Iran and Israel.
Oh, that would have
been
been perfect, yeah.
Yeah, this is all biblical stuff. When I said it was a spiritual war.
Oh, that's somebody went way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Shit. You gotta come a little bit earlier, man. You gotta come a little bit earlier.
I've been all over the place, man. I've been busy. A lot of busy day today, man. But you don't know. My brother started another cancer treatment today, so I've been at the hospital with that. And then when I got back, another friend of mine, his husband just committed suicide. I don't know, about a month ago, and he was trying to commit suicide live online today in Europe. So we had to get together, do detective work and all of that. Somebody had to call the police over there. He was trying to fight in the street, jump off a bridge, hang himself with a rope. It was, so I've been busy, man. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
Man, my condolences. I had a long ass day, bro. I was just doing my best to help a lot of people, but for some reason I was just so annoyed today. Today just that kind of day. It's just annoying as fuck.
I know. I think you're right, because I just looked and saw who's live, and you don't even know these people, but all of my friends, all of them are. They got two lives going simultaneously while everybody's splitting and joining sides and saying the other people are weird. It's some fraction of some weird shit is going on today. You ain't out on the limb with that. Something is
like,
today ain't right, bro. Yeah.
It's been a fuck ass day, bro. And I saw you pop in at the last minute when I was clicking in live. And I was just like, all right, let me try to do the smoke Sesh real quick, see if he'll come back.
I hope
we can smoke one and shit.
I hope I can remember. I was thinking about something you had said yesterday when I was like driving today, or like I want to zoom in on something. Was it I don't know, maybe it'll come to me. I'll smoke with you, maybe it'll come to me. But I sure was thinking about something. It might have been the riding on the, it was about the, what was it, the black juice. It was something about the black juice.
It sounds better, it's more catchy. It's more fun. The kids will be like, ooh, I want to study black juice.
Yeah, it can be, but I think it is. I don't want to have fuckers call me, because then I'm gonna have to argue with a bunch of white motherfuckers about the fucking name of it.
Fuck them, bruh. Look, y'all make up words all the time. And my black juice does a little bit more than your dark matter. It makes more sense. It's more logical. Because if you look at it as juice, then it can act like juice acts. Can act like a liquid as well as a static.
Is the object here to communicate with the other people and explain your philosophy and all of that?
Yeah, I just gotta sit down and write some shit.
Well, if
I'm
you
lazy.
name it Bob's Nuts, you know,
They
people
better
won't.
dangle. Like,
They
come
not
on.
really gonna understand what you're saying, and they ain't gonna be able to get past
But
what's in
look,
their
but look.
head.
If it was a dangly object, then okay, I see. Like, but you
Black
can't
juice
just.
makes me think about a black girl coming every time you say it.
Well,
So
guess what? You can call that interactions between atoms.
no, but I'm saying if you're trying to get across another point and you name your shit, white people suck dick. Whatever your theory is, people are
Damn, why'd you
hung
have to
up.
go there? Are you
I'm trying to
mad?
get the point
Are you
across,
okay?
right? You understand the point I'm trying to get across? I hear you
Yeah,
laughing and shit. Do you understand the point though? Yeah.
yeah, I get the point.
All right.
You meant that last one though.
Oh, I don't
That was some
know.
mental stress right there. You all right, man?
I'm fine.
You
I didn't know.
cool?
I didn't realize I had said nothing extravagant.
He was like, "Oh, white people suck dick." Like, are
Some
you
of them
okay, bro?
dudes.
Are you okay? Today was a rough one, huh? White guy
It ain't.
cut you off.
I don't think it got nothing to do with that. I'm saying you named it anyway. I'm not saying it. I'm saying if you named your project "White People Suck Dick," suddenly a group of people, when they come to hear your message, not gonna hear it,
They're
or
probably
hear it
gonna
less.
they're probably gonna be walking up like, that sounds interesting. Like what?
Uh, might get a few
I
of
know
those too.
a
There's
lot of
other
those.
a few things like that I think about advancements that black people made, but I think putting black in a title killed it.
All right, fine. I won't
Yeah,
call it black juice.
I
I'll call it
mean,
dark. I'll call it dark substance.
uh, well, you got plenty of time to come.
Just
I
like,
almost you got plenty of time to come down on with a name.
but if black juice just sticks, they gonna be
Yeah,
so mad because why didn't we just call it black juice? That's why they gonna be mad.
well, good luck. All right.
That's so unprofessional. So was your mom.
Uh,
Ooh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying the same shit you're saying. I don't want to have the dumb conversations if I'm talking about it. But when I'm trying to talk, I gotta explain to motherfucker what Jack Black juice and your mom this and that while I'm trying to explain a concept. I don't want to do that shit. You may think it's fun and it got nothing to do, but I like to facilitate the conversations. I like when they go quicker. You probably know that about me right now.
I mean, I don't mind coming up with a better word for it. But for now, I like black juice.
For
But
now, it work. You don't even have but a part of
I'll
a
call it dark
theory so
juice
far.
instead. Or you know what? I'll call it
It don't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's
hold
really
on.
premature.
I'll call it clear mucus.
Okay, just as good. Yeah. All right. All right. So I'm not gonna be able to think about whatever the fuck. There was something I wanted to ask you about or something.
All right. Was it about
Okay.
Iran?
No. I don't know if it was about.
Or was it about our whole project we're doing?
Yeah, I think it was a whole discussion thing. I think it was something to do with the
What Clay was talking about?
particles and that type of shit. Yeah. And I remember when I was driving home earlier, I was thinking I'm gonna check and see if this nigga live. But then I get home and I get a call that my buddy's out there with a rope trying to kill himself on the bridge, and he is standing in the roadway and trying to fight everybody, and somebody knocked him down and shit. And then he got really weird and he doxed himself. He never even shown his face. He gave his name, his address, his bank account, showed his face, and was, just acting crazy, bro. It was wild.
He wanted
Then,
somebody to stop him.
yes, I agree. But if you could hear, hold on, let me see. I had to record it, a piece of it, because I wanted to put some of it in a video. Just listen to what this nigga says. See if it works.
Stop this. You understand everything you're doing is fuck off. Put your legs in. No.
This is him and the police. They're trying to get him in the car. Hold on. Trying to find. I had a good audio of him laughing. This it?
He's probably gonna go to that place.
Offered $2,000 for my home address.
That's not it. Let me try all these other ones. Oh, I know which one it is I want to say. Probably this one.
You stop this. Do you understand? Everything you're doing is fuck off. Put your legs in. No. Yes, strangle me. Strangle me. Strangle me. Strangle me. Fucking strangle me. Do it. Do it. Do it. Strangle me.
That sounds like a possession.
You can see he was all right. He's losing it. This is the birthday of his the guy he's been with all of his life, and that guy killed himself a little while ago. And I don't know, just a few weeks, and he ain't been the same. Right? It's crazy.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
In the last couple of months since you've been talking to him, have they procured any weird or old or antique things?
Well, you talking about since his guy died, since his husband died?
Well, before that, did they or around that time, did they accumulate any like old objects or any kind of antiques, or did they inherit anything, or is there anything that happened? Like they knew somebody that was going through something, because spirits love to get on you when you have an attachment to whatever.
I hear where you're going with that. Actually, I don't know, because he hadn't really been coming on the internet. He just came back on to tell us. He had probably been off for a very long time. He had just came back on and went live to tell us that, and he just cried the first 2 days. You know, it was dramatic and rough on him. You know, it was just him too. He don't have a lot of real life friends. He had one, and he had died about I don't know, half a year ago or something. And so it was just him and his husband. But they've been together for 20 years or something. It was, you know, and I don't know. Then his husband did that, and since then, and his husband was the breadwinner. So they trying to kick him out the apartment, and his money running out. It was just like, it was the stress. Everything is coming down on him at the same time. But I wouldn't know if they acquired anything that like that, because I wouldn't have been privy to what was going on leading up to it. His husband was dead by the time he popped on the internet.
Yeah, that's my condolences. That sucks. Absolutely. But what I will say is there must be something going on. There must be something going on in that background that we just are not privy to.
That made the husband do it. I can tell you this because I did talk to him after the husband died. I talked to him, and he told me that he did have a history. He had tried it a couple times before at suicide, and he had stopped him. So it wasn't his first attempt. His husband's. He was obviously, something going on with him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of guilt that comes with dealing with certain lifestyles, certain people, certain situations, especially when you gotta work. Working is tough. And when you don't have a reason to continue working, like children, a wife, that can eat at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Legacy. Those relationships are very hard to be in.
You probably figure his life was his relationship. With that gone, what's left? And he hadn't spent any time. He was from one of the worst troll rooms, one of the really worst that I used to hang in. And he was like the leader of one particular one. And so he didn't cultivate any friends, only people like me, big hearts are gonna even be there for him right now. Cause, I'm amazed, man. He used to be I don't know how many people would be in there when he's going in on people and exposing their private inner messages, and people would send him private DMs and all of that, and he would air it on somebody we know, and so he made a lot of enemies. In fact, his number one enemy is another friend of mine. He came in there today and told him, he said something good. I think I screenshot it. Something like, hey man, God you are a good guy, and it's never too late. God can bless you. He said something positive, and they just hate each other. Hate for the last, I don't know how many years. But it was that bad that his arch enemy came in there and saying some religious stuff. And then some more people went live to talk about it. And then the other sector that I hang in, the people, 10th Man and Dennis and them, some of them guys are not Dennis 10th, the people, but some people from that crowd or that community, they're going at each other. I mean, this girl I know, I don't know if you know names, but Cynthia, she's been friends with Snafu. She's got his name in the title. She doing some shit talking about him, how shitty he is, and I go to another guy room, or my girl, ex-girlfriend had texted me and told me to check it out, and they're over there going in on Cynthia and so and Paul Unslaved, and they say, that bitch is live now, and they're not even getting along. What you tried to dox me is getting really weird. Everybody's choosing. Even the chat, I looked in, I only said a word or two. Even the chat is picking sides. It's really fucking weird today. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I got out just in time.
That would be another sector. There are people there. I don't even.
Could you imagine if I had been hanging out with 10th and all of them this whole time? Because I go every now and then, I'll pop on. Right? I was mainly hanging out with Bob and CT because I actually got respect for them. But then when they started, like, I don't know, CT stopped letting me come up, and then Bob and everybody over there kind of just got a little weird on me. I guess they were just going in a little too much, and I was just like, you know what?
Yeah, if I'm not appreciated, fuck it.
It's cool. I ain't mad. I fucks with them. They cool. But they don't think I was a Marine and shit, and I was laughing. Okay, fine. I didn't go. But I'll show you, Joe. I showed it on my last show too.
Don't start proving shit to me, the one guy who don't want to.
No, I'm saying because I know you don't have to. But I got this right here. That's the only thing I got left from my Marine. It's just me and this freaking crystal thing. You feel me?
Okay, whatever crystal thing is.
Yeah, because you get these when you get your little pictures and shit.
Hold on, let me zoom in and see if you're actually showing something.
Hold on. Yeah, I'll do it like this.
Okay, I can see now.
Yeah, you can't see my face on there too good because of the lighting and shit. But that's me with my little. I'm in there. You feel me? With the shit. It's in the little crystal block.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's the only evidence I got left. Yeah. That's the only evidence I got. Everything else, I'll tell you like this.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to speak about it, so I won't.
Good. I'm not interested. We can move on.
That was the agreement. They said, hey, you can say you were in, no benefits or anything like that. You go and lay low. Don't speak about your experience. I said, all right, cool. It was either that or I was gonna die.
You'll know. I don't know if you run into the right people, because some of these motherfuckers love finding niggas' military's records for some reason.
Hey, it's cool. Yeah. Mine's gonna say a big fuck you. So Clay.
What's up, Brody?
I almost went to bed early. Y'all gotta come a little sooner. Maybe like 2 hours ago.
Was it? Oh, so where? When do you stop doing the show? normally?
I usually stop like 20 minutes ago, but I did a smoke
Oh.
sesh for Joe. Because he
Yeah, I
came in at
stopped
the
in and
last
said hi.
minute.
I think the
Nice.
credits was rolling. I was like, "Hey, it was good. Oh, did I miss the
Nice.
show?" So he fired up the door.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so we're having a smoke sesh right now, hanging out. You feel me?
yeah, that's cool.
And we talking about. Well, I don't want to poison the well. Brick,
Well, we
is
could,
anything? Hold on. Let me ask Brick. Brick,
go
does the day seem normal to you?
Normal.
I don't want to give you too much
Sure.
information.
It's a good day.
Oh, okay. Sounds normal.
Okay, so you had a good day today?
Yeah. I mean, normal good day. Yeah.
Wait, what? How was your day for real? Was
Well,
it
normal, good, all of that
was it
is the
off?
opposite of what we were talking about. He wouldn't be saying that wouldn't have been the first thing out of his mouth if he thought it was a weird day. He wouldn't be like, it was normal, it was a good
I mean,
day.
that's just the average response. That's not the deep
All
response.
right, dig
Because
deeper, go
today,
deeper. All right,
I ain't
go
gonna
ahead.
lie. Today was weird. It was a weird day. It
For
was all kinds
for
of
you
annoying.
and me, maybe not for him.
Yeah. Not for me. Nope.
Okay, so
Not a
shit.
weird day. Yeah.
What about have you spent any time running around on these internet streets? Any of that been weird?
Well, I have been a couple of places, but
Normal
nothing.
vibe?
Yeah, normal vibe. I mean, there's some crazy shit that's happened, but that's like normal.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
right.
No,
Yeah.
no weird vibe. Yeah, nothing.
Okay, so crazy shit happening is normal for you.
It's normal for you
Yes.
too.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's why it's such an off day for me and Joe. Because
No,
we're not used
crazy
to too
sis.
much crazy.
Me and Brick run the same circles. The same
Yeah.
crazy he run into, I run into.
Yeah, pretty much.
I in my real life has been fucked up. I had to go to my brother's the new infusement cancer treatment today, so that whole day sucked. And
Oh,
then when I get
wow.
home, a friend of mine, Shiva, if you know him, it's his husband's.
That I heard about.
Okay,
That
and then that happens. So I'm like, it's a weird day. Then I hop on the internet and I see Cynthia with Snafu in the title. They've been friends all this time. And then my ex calls me and I check out somebody else and they're all over there jumping each other, calling each other's cops and feds and fighting. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
and I'm like, it's been a weird day. I text that chick. I was like, no, it's a strange day. I'm going over. I fuck with the flat earther. She's like, ha ha ha, who is that? And I sent to your link, Joe. So she knows all that.
Gotcha. So,
See,
okay.
I remember when I was kicking it over there, it was like peaceful to an extent. When it get rowdy, I would kind of remind everybody, hey, aren't we like adults and shit? And then everybody would kind of like straighten up for a little bit. But
You're
then
talking
I
about
noticed
Bob's. Bob's is totally different.
I'm talking about all the different places I've been
They're,
at.
they're different. Bob's and the community I'm talking about is kind of just meeting. You're talking about Bob and his people. I don't want to be confused with like the people I'm talking about. We just
I'm
kind of meeting each other.
The Bob is Gospel of Bob.
Yeah, who left from TC? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
because
talking about
I haven't been on there or not been around them much. I know they came to Sarah's, I think, once that I know
I,
of. And
I think Imp is right, man. It is a bunch of shit over there. A lot of the time, sometimes it's really good conversation. That's what Emperor. I saw him over there a lot, and he always has a good conversation, in my opinion. But sometimes it gets banter or just want to talk over niggas and
oh
everybody,
God,
putting
Vanta.
everybody.
Yeah.
and then
That whole
everybody
not
just wants
just
to
him,
roast me and hate on me.
everybody.
I'll be like, all right, whatever, y'all, fuck y'all.
Yeah, I agree. There's some folks that travel around these streets these YouTube streets that basically when you try to get into a conversation with them, they do the duck dodge, all that stuff. But they also talk over, which it gets
That's
really
the part.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, like duck dodge, I can deal with that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind nailing a nigga down. I know
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
Exactly.
And they be just jumping all over the place. Like, chill, bro. Make a point. Make a point.
Right. And I have a habit of doing that sometimes, but then like because
Well,
my brain, right? So I don't believe in thought, so I try to keep my mind empty, kind of thing. You
I
know?
do that on purposely, yeah. But I
See,
believe in thought
I noticed the
1,000%,
super
but I do
smartsy
know the
artsy
advantage of
people.
keeping your
They
brain
like to
empty.
ask questions they know the answers to.
That part is true. Joe gets on to me. Well, he's been getting on to me lately, saying, "I think you just want to show how smart you are."
I think you are. I'm like, which I love it. You know, I love your conversation on time and all of that shit. I think you loving it, even yourself. Because do you know
Absolutely.
the capital of Bermuda? In 19, what that got to do with what we talking about, bro? You enjoy it a lot. I get it.
Yeah, so I do that a lot. The things that I do know, and so yeah, it kind of tracks that.
All right, so let me ask you guys the question then,
Yep.
because today was about the Iran. That's mostly what I was doing it about, because this war in Iran is getting out of hand at this point. Reason why I'm saying that is because I'm starting to look at the rest of the world. I'm starting to look at the markets. I'm starting to look at the different money trails, the reasons, and like whose lives and kingdoms are at stake. So the question is, if you could say a time, how long do you think this is going to last, or how long until it ends? Or do you think a deal is going to be made? And if not, what do you think should happen next versus what do you think is going to happen next?
My answer's
It's a lot.
weird on Warren, you know.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Long time ago, I read the Bible Code. Michael Drosnin is where they found the code in the Bible. If you're familiar, everybody's been saying there was one in there. He used a computer, blah, 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 found the code in the first 10 books. And he was putting their names and shit, and it was talking about, you know, stuff like that. So at the end of the book, they put in some shit to see what happens in the future. I can't remember what the predictions were, but I do remember, and this was years ago, that 2035 prediction was desolate, and something else, like humanity was wiped out. And a couple more things, even down to Google stupid ass. You can ask, you know, what's Christmas, or one of these, what's Christmas, what day is Christmas on in 2026? And she says there is no Christmas in 2026. Every other holiday for the other years, you can ask for 2026 past a certain time. She said there is no holiday. But and that, along with the rate of acceleration, Trump needing to remain in office, this being a desperate attempt, blah, blah, blah. All the countries that got hit in the last 2 days, you know, all of
4,000 years
this
ago.
makes me think this shit is
4,000 years
speeding up.
ago.
Hold on, I need to show y'all this shit. It was this one. Was it this one? Hold on. It was in my recent.
I think it's going to get really bad really fast. By fast, I mean within the next, let me see, 5 years, it'll be a different world like it was during COVID.
This is James.
Hold on. I gotta go back a couple of times.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I announce to you.
Not that one either. Hold on.
Well, while you're doing that, so my view of it, and it's actually kind of a shitty take, and I understand that, is I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. Like, if the stock markets fail, if all of the gas runs out, and all of the farms that would normally be crop to put into the supermarkets, for whatever reason, the shit don't exist no more.
Right.
I'm not worried about it. 2 reasons. One, I don't fear death. That's one of those things, you know. But the main thing is, like, I can sustain myself. Like I can do the hunt and fish and live in the
Right.
and stuff.
I figured that was yourself.
Yeah, and so, like, it's great to be able to live in society, especially one so rich,
Comfortable. Yeah.
comfortable, and yeah, you got nice homes and all of that. But
We watch War Abroad, right?
Yes.
We've seen all these on CNN. That's how comfortable we are over here. Ain't no bombs coming through the windows and shit.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the closest we get to that is a SWAT raid.
Yeah, our own people coming at us, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're watching Netflix and shit while motherfuckers, you know, like today, if Iran is to be believed, they hit a building. Israel did. 178 schoolgirls killed.
I mean, really, we live in like a first world, because you got people arguing about who's going to be more virtuous.
Yeah.
About their morality. Like,
yeah.
Sitting around a table saying, nope, I'm more virtuous because I brought the homeless guy a sandwich. And you look at, the other guy looks at him and says, yeah, well, I brought him 2 sandwiches.
Wait. No. It's way more disgusting than that.
Yeah.
It is where they don't actually do a thing and they look at what someone else did.
Goodness.
All he brought was a sandwich. I would have brought 10. I would have bought, but neither one of them did shit. They just like, he's a piece of shit. I can't believe he cheated on her. I'd have did this and that. They ain't never did shit. They're virtuous by shitting on other people, apparently.
Yep. That's exactly it. Shitting on virtue for virtue.
Makes you virtuous. The more people you can judge and point out their shortcomings makes you, much better. I'd never do nothing that stupid, that immoral, that dumb. I'd never.
I'll be right back. You guys hold it down.
All right.
Yep. Why didn't you bring him 2 blankets? Like, only needed 1.
Right.
Whoa, God dang it. You are
Where
such
were you
a
last
scumbag.
week? Right.
And he needed 2 pillows.
It's at least more than one homeless person out there. Why would you bring 1 blanket? You just gonna get him beat up, get the man blanket took. Just turn your city to something horrible. And then they do I'd have brought at least a dozen. You've been there before. They gonna need something to eat. You make money off your channel. Oh my God, it gets disgusting, man. Motherfuckers with no life.
You know what it is? It's called the save the world complex, right? So you're gonna go save the planet, and then of course, because you're limited to your little bit that you can do. Right. You're not a philanthropist, not by any stretch of the imagination.
I would agree, right?
Right. But you do what you can, and then you brag about it, and it's great to do.
All right, so this made me feel kind of bad. All right, and this got me a little bit worried when I saw this one, and I saw some change. So this was 2 hours ago.
Fox News. What do you bet? This dude has.
It is on Fox.
Guarantee you.
It is on Fox. And I saw something. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea anymore.
FAUX news.
Nah, it's this one right here. It was crazy.
Epic Fury punishes what's left of the regime. B-2 bombers are in the air, striking Iranian ballistic missiles, mobile launchers, and command and control. U.S. Central Command releasing video showing Iranian planes being smoked right off the tarmac. The U.S. Air Force also focusing on Iran's underground missile cities, where it's believed that thousands of medium and short-range missiles are being stored. U.S. bombers, drones, and fighter jets are circling these mountains, and the minute mobile missile launchers roll out of the tunnel to fire, we take them out. Then drop heavy ordnance to collapse the cave and bury everyone alive.
That's a lie.
Goal?
And bury everyone alive.
That's
this is crazy. This is what he's saying, but hold on. It gets worse.
Complete disarmament. Here's CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper.
In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans.
Hold on, my bad.
You can get a dragon.
Dragons are the best, right?
Israel says it's knocked out the enemy's cyber warfare headquarters and one of their intel hubs. Plus, 30 of their warships have been turned into seafood. And we just got another big one.
In just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire.
The commander-in-chief's monitoring the situation and is...
Do you hear the pride? Do you understand that the United States is going to underestimate what's happening here? And this is making us look very prideful. Hold on. Listen to what the guy's saying.
Let me respond a little bit.
As soon as they set off a missile, within 4 minutes, the launcher gets hit. They don't know what's happening. Their Navy is gone. 24 ships in 3 days. That's a lot of ships. Their anti-aircraft weapons are gone. So they have no air force. They have no air defense. All of their airplanes are gone. Their communications are gone. missiles, a gun. Other than that, they're doing quite well.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says Iran's strategy is simple: take a beating and wait us out.
Iran is hoping.
Take a beating and wait us out. That's crazy. Do you hear this shit? Go ahead.
I think
The arrogance is fucking me up.
Yes, we're in agreement with that shit. The way they're bragging on just destroying
This is
motherfuckers.
not cool. This is
But
not cool. I
you
think they're
said-
enjoying this shit.
He said something like you think something's gonna happen, and you can tell they're already getting in over their heads, not see something. I forgot how you phrased it, but
Yeah.
when this is all,
Underestimating the situation.
Yeah, and if they're gonna underestimate them, but I don't think they are.
No, they're underestimating the situation because
No,
all the
that's
other
what you
countries
said.
are watching this. All the rest of the world is watching this. How U.S. moves, they're watching this.
Okay. They said, okay, they lied. You notice they said, and everybody know everything's going to be pounded. It don't take an hour to sink their navy and knock their fighters out. They ain't even try to scramble them. They know that's a gone cause, but that's not what they do. They planned for this. They stashed thousands of drones in the mountains. Now, if you notice, everything he said was certain. We knocked out 700 of these, 400 of those, 22 of that, and we believe there are drones in these mountains, and when we see them, we knock them out. We believe means we don't know, right? And then he go on to tell you how effective he is every fucking where else. So the fact that he said we believe, I know that he knows it's full of drones and they don't know where they are. That's why he said we believe. I was trying to show that yes, they're already aware that they fucked up because it seems unstoppable. That's what I was trying to say.
So you see it kind of like a beehive situation.
It is, and that's what. It ain't just me. That's what experts are saying. Everybody said and knew, that was expected. No one expected, them to fight with us with tanks and shit. No one thought that. It was a dumb thought that was going to be their response. It was stupid, and they did not prepare for the two things they did: endless drones and attacking every fucking country that fucks with the U.S. in sight. Those things they are responding to. If their first response was, "Oh crap, we're running out of guns. We're not going to be able to do this," don't worry. It was just a 2-week war to begin with. Blah blah blah. Now that was just like yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. Now this is going to be a long term. We're bringing over endless bombs. We're going to beat them into submission. It's every day it's shit.
Check this shit out though, because this gets wild.
That we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation. There's no shortage of American will here. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as.
Do you see the pride here?
2-week war no more. Now
do you see the pride here?
I do. I agree with you.
If you think you've seen something, just wait.
The Pentagon's testing its Doomsday ballistic missile now in the Pacific. The Minuteman III. It's a big one. Capable.
This right here is what fucking scared me.
Right.
No, check this out. Carry nuclear warheads 20 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. It can travel 6,000 miles at speeds of 15,000 miles an hour. It's hypersonic and can strike anywhere in the world in less than 30 minutes. Air Force Global.
Why does
you hear that
scare
shit?
Yeah. Why does that scare you?
The reason why that scares me is because now that this is all over the fucking world,
yeah,
Russia and China have to gear up now. Now everybody's mustering their military, and so is North Korea, and they also have intercontinental.
They already got them. Their shit's better than ours. What are you talking about? They already got those missiles that he's bragging about.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. And now that
the
it's out there,
hypersonic shit, Russia was dropping on Ukraine without the bombs in them just to show off that they had this shit. They already got this shit. So it's yeah.
Just remember, a third of the stars will fall from the sky. It's gonna be a
dude.
nighttime move. When that shit comes hitting us, it's
But
gonna
you're
be
not
chaos.
in fear. You're not in fear of that, are you?
No, I'm not afraid of it. I'm scared for all the people that don't know what to do. Because at this point, I have to give it up to the Lord.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm afraid of it. I have dread for it. I'm not looking forward to the getting a chip in my hand, or I can't go to a store and learning the things that dude know that Clay knows. No,
No,
I dread
that's
that.
why I'm low key getting some shit. Low key, I'm going to the store and I'm like buying
all of your
stacks of
friends
water
getting
and shit.
getting that shit, all your loved ones and all of them be like, no, you gotta know how else I'm gonna get my check. Trump giving me $1,500, all I gotta do is get the chip. You know, I'm not looking forward to that shit. But mom, you can't get it.
Well, this is something that I did find out, and it is a beautiful discovery. The beast is money, and the mark is the banking institutions and the way we have to spend money to do things, because we already have to use money to buy and sell things like that. Even crypto, all of it. The reason why I'm saying this is because after layering it over the top, it makes sense. The Antichrist is something different, but the beast is money itself.
You're talking about the beast in Revelation?
Everybody bows down to the beast. Remember that.
Are you talking about the beast in Revelation?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it props up all the kingdoms.
Yeah, so the beast in that context.
And
right?
the whore rides on it. Money.
Yeah, so
it fits.
Give me a sec.
So the beast in that context is where you were going.
Money, yeah. And it got the 10 horns, right? Those are the 10 kingdoms, and they're propped up on money. And the whore comes riding it. She's propped up on money. And everybody's drinking of the fornication. You could say OnlyFans if you want.
I'm still thinking, they're gonna cause every man, poor, rich, slave, free man, blah blah blah, to have a mark in their hand. Could be a.
That's the money. It could be the stack of money.
Excuse me. I know
Go
you
ahead.
get excited and want to talk. That could be a credit card, bread, your phone, or they say your forehead, which could easily be the intelligence chip that they're putting in people now, and they're already
those Google glasses,
and they're already putting the chip in motherfuckers' hands. I don't know if you're aware of that. They've been doing it for years. They got it's like
for the
getting
door
tattoos
readers and stuff. Yeah.
over there.
I know
It's
what you
hip.
mean.
All the kids are doing it over there in Asia. It's like getting a tattoo. And over here they had something called chip parties, where you go to the job, they give you some time off where they implant the chip, and they put some money on it. You walk over to the vending machine, put your hand over there, go bloop, bloop, bloop. So you're getting free shit. Hey, then you go back to work. Chip parties, they call them.
And then after a while, all that money starts coming out of your paycheck.
Yes, that's
Because
just
your
the new
bank is right
card.
up there in your hand.
That's all it is a bank card. It's the chip in your bank card. It'll be in
It's
your
just a
hand.
more advanced version of what we have now.
Exactly, which makes your theory hold that now it would be your Visa card would be the equivalent of the chip right now.
Mm-hmm. And the whole world uses that.
I got one in my wallet. Used it today to park when I went to the hospital.
Strike Command says the missile was tested to verify its effectiveness, readiness, and accuracy, just in case we have to use it. And the test was successful. The Iranians noticed and picked up the phone.
They're tough, and they want to fight. And they're calling, they're saying, how do we make a deal? I said, you're being a little bit late. And we want to fight now more than they do.
We want to kill some more of
But
you.
in front of the camera, they're Rambo.
He said you're a little bit late. We want to blow some more shit up.
Evil, bro.
Trying to bait America into a ground war.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country? No, we are waiting for them. You are waiting?
The fuck?
We're going to wait for the enemy to come in and as they're shooting arrows
You got
in the
to,
air.
when you're overpowered, you got to do guerrilla tactics.
Now, you see that smile right there? What kind of smile? What kind of smile is that?
He really believes. He really believes that the United States is going to fight a ground tactical war.
No, Israel's gonna have to do it.
No, I believe that the United States learned its lesson in Afghanistan on that one, sir.
Oh yeah, Israel's gonna have to do it. For
I don't
sure.
think so. When they say the dragon gave his power to the beast and all of that shit, that's probably some
The
relationship
dragon
between.
gave his power to money, and now with money, you can make
It's
people do
just,
anything.
it's really not just
So
cool for
it's
you to
not
cut a
money.
motherfucker off every time they start, and I can't complete my thoughts, man. You hear 3 words and you're off, and then I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about. If you could please hold your comments till I'm fucking get my thought out. I mean, go ahead. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about.
So the beast is not money, okay? It is the entire political system, the 1 in 13 that you're referencing, okay? And the only reason that you can actually test this is because there's a similar reference in Daniel, okay? There was 4 in Daniel. And
Beast references, is that what you're talking about?
yeah, so there's 7 heads in the one on the one in Revelation, and so if you actually look into Daniel, you can find that that was referencing political world powers, and at the time of Daniel, it was the Medes and the Persians, or no, Babylon, excuse me, Babylon, and they had defeated the Medes and the Persians, or the other way around, I forget exactly, but it was Egypt, the Medes and the Persians, the Babylonians, and there was another one, world powers. Those world powers thing, the global government.
The beast arose from the land of Israel. That's interesting.
I would say
where's
because you got to remember those
I don't know.
were 4 different beasts, and then in Revelations, it's one beast with all the heads, and all the heads have crowns. But the beast itself is money. That's what props them all up. Now
It's just in Revelation. It's 11, 17, 12, 1 through 17, 12, 19, 22. It's a bunch in Revelation.
Right. So it's 4 in Daniel.
That's the ones I'm looking for. The ones in Daniel. They tell me you keep giving me Revelation.
So
all right, while you hit that, hold on.
For the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Damn, they always hit me first. Go ahead, Clay.
No, you're good. Oh, you're waiting on the stupid commercial.
Yeah.
It's fixing to cut. Anyway, go ahead.
4 empires, they say, yeah. 4 empires in Daniel.
Right.
Because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Boots on the ground, not part of this operation, says the Pentagon. Right now, it's an air campaign, and it's been devastating and running ahead of schedule. Although Trump is saying he's all for a Kurdish ground offensive. More on that later. But Iran has an even bigger problem. Reports say
Let's
Iranian
go start
soldiers,
another
police officers, and Revolutionary Guards aren't showing up to work.
Al-Qaeda.
Maybe they're dead.
That's how they
Maybe they're
all
in hiding.
begin.
Or maybe they're waiting for immunity.
I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help.
Trump is losing a lot of hair over this. Y'all see that?
I wasn't even looking at the,
bro, that's a wig, bro.
Take back your country. So you'll be perfectly safe with total immunity, or you'll face absolutely guaranteed death.
The mullahs are getting sloppy. Today,
Damn.
an Iranian drone hit Azerbaijan, the 12th country to be attacked by Tehran. And now they're vowing to retaliate.
What Iran is doing by targeting allied countries that would otherwise want to stay out of this, they've actually pulled them into the American orbit. So now you've got
It was
UAE
brilliant.
and Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait and others saying, hey, we're with you. We'll shoot with you. We'll fly with you. We'll defend with you.
The Europeans finally got off the sidelines. Spain, after closing its bases, is now joining a fleet of Dutch, Greek, and Italian warships sailing to Cyprus off the coast of Israel. Iran's bruised, battered, and isolated. Their ballistic missile attacks have dropped by 90%. And good news, Israelis are coming out of their bunkers. The country lowered its public threat level to allow citizens to gather in public places again.
It said something about there would be a call for peace and then sudden destruction. Now,
yeah, it's what I know. It refers you're referring to. It says that at first people will say that there's peace and security, and then upon them will be peace and destruction at that point.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that's bothering me is in the video I was showing before, it was talking about the lineage of where Iran came from and how it goes all the way back to Abraham with Sarah and the Egyptian Hagar.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Now the Egyptian Hagar is the Iran side because Iran ended up becoming Iran through the conquering and then that portion of the Islam religion.
I think I'm still with it, but I'm not sure how it's relevant to anything.
Well, Iran is Islam, isn't it?
It is, and yeah.
That brings the relevance.
Can you be more specific?
Their religion took over the country, the Persian country. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it became the religious state of Islam. So it is the Islam versus the Jewish Israel.
I thought that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah. With Sweetie, this guy, he's just talking about some bullshit.
Assassination. Shouldn't be that hard. The U.S. administration, while pushing for regime collapse, is also defending attacks against oil tankers and oil infrastructure. Oil isn't moving out of the strait. A refinery was hit. A tanker flagged to the Bahamas, also on fire. Gas prices have gone up about 25 cents a gallon since Saturday. There's going to be some short-term pain for American consumers. Which we hope is within just a few weeks.
I swear to God, I hear this shit.
We had it very low, but I had to take this little detour if it's okay with everybody.
But no one's more spooked than the Chinese.
had
They've
it
ordered their
very
refineries
low.
to suspend exports. If Operation Epic Fury succeeds and Beijing ever gets frisky, Trump can make one phone call and slap Xi with an oil embargo. The Trump administration is securing American interests in the Middle East
now you
and in
just
Latin
gave
America.
China a reason to
Venezuela
get
is
in
sending oil to
against
Texas
us
refineries
as if
to
they
take the bite
needed
out of this
another
price spike. And instead of sending gold to China, those shipments stopped. Doug Burgum's down in Caracas cutting a mining deal to send gold bars north to Fort Knox. As we cement American power in the Persian Gulf, we're consolidating power here in the Western Hemisphere. This weekend at the RAL, Trump's hosting a Latin American summit where all the
This
leaders will
nigga's
talk
up
shop
there,
and play golf. Maybe Cuba can come next year.
Must be nice.
What the fuck did he just say? He said, maybe Cuba can come next year. What the fuck? What is this shit? Oh
That's
my
crazy.
gosh. I know. That's why I'm changing my mind. I don't know if this is such a good idea, guys. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, can we put the bullet back in the gun?
And the
Can we
gun is
unshoot
too
the shot?
late.
Like, somebody catch that bullet.
All right.
Fuck.
All right. So when you go to Daniel, right, you can find specifically that Daniel identifies the head as Babylon of the statue.
Oh no.
That the king saw in his dream.
That
And
would be us, man.
My
I mean,
bad.
there's a
Just dropped a few
modern
minutes
day
ago.
comparison. I think that would be the U.S.
Well, no. So there's different components of the statue, and in the end of this vision, a rock comes and smashes the statue. And
This
so
is an ordinary record.
Go ahead. My bad. I was trying to find this other video.
yeah, and so the statue is representative of kingdoms, and each piece is representative of a different one. So you've got the head of gold, the chest and arms of silver, the thighs of bronze, and the legs of iron. And each one of those are said to represent certain kingdoms. The first one being Babylon, the head, right? And then that one would fall, right? And then the next one to come would be Media Persia, is what it said.
Wait. I said the
according to
modern
scholars.
day equivalent. That's what I was
All
talking
right.
about. What would
Right,
be
there
the
is
modern
no-
day
it-
equivalent of the head, if there's such a thing?
There is
now?
there's no equivalent. That's what I'm
Here,
trying
I'll
to-
put this one on
Wait.
times 2 real quick.
Hold on, before you go, I want to understand how Clay is so sure that there is no modern day equivalent.
There's no
Because all
Because
this
this
seems to
one
be written to
It's
let us
talking
know.
about it.
Right. All of these lessons seem to apply to us in the future.
So I
I'm
don't
not
need
sure
to see
why.
a video. I don't need to see a video to know it. I've already studied this stuff. That's what I'm
Well,
trying to
I
say.
was just saying so we could talk about the video and talk about the whole thing and get some more
But I'm trying to tell you
for
what I know about what I've studied. So I'm trying to tell you. So that's what I'm telling you about the particular statue in Daniel.
I don't need them.
The head is Babylon. Now that one is identified, clearly identified.
You said that. I agree. I accept everything you said. You don't have to name the 7 kingdoms. I'm sure you know them and studied them.
It's not 7 kingdoms in the Daniel.
Okay, whatever it is, I'm not even concerned about that. I'm concerned if these analogies have present day equivalencies that I can use. I know all of these, I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of these have stories that happened back then, but they still seem to be related to the current day situation now. It seems to be lessons. Those lessons for those countries seem to be for us in modern day, in my opinion. Go ahead.
So if you were to name a current day world power in reference to the heads of the beast, which are 7, right? That would be a comparison to the statue, which would also be 4 kingdoms or empires.
Sounds good. What about it?
The statue. Okay.
Yes.
So from the beginning of those 7 is Egypt. Then it's sorry, hold on just a second. I've literally got it pulled up because I know exactly what I was having here. And I'm going to pull it back up. Freaking thing here. Oh, there it is. So it goes Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, Rome, and then the Anglo-American dual world power. So it's not said exactly, because it's not understood exactly how this American empire is going to really come into fruition, because essentially right now, America, definitely. We already understand that part. But it seems to be compounded by like the alliances that are in legality.
Okay, can we do it like this? This is a much simpler. If I, and it's not hard for me to get those old heads out of my head and say, now, if there is a beast with 4 heads that represent nations, what would they be? And some would immediately pop in my head: Russia, China, so and so, the big ones.
No, the heads in Daniel, the 4, those are references to the same as the statue, which is Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, and Rome.
I'm not okay. Why do you keep telling me what it was back then, as if that has anything to do with what I'm talking about? Every time I talk about, if Daniel was talking about a revelation that's talking about modern day, it would be talking about these countries. And you tell me, no, in the olden days, it was talking about Persia, as if that's supposed to make me change my mind.
That's Iran right now.
Make your point.
Persia is Iran right now.
So the visions that took place during Daniel's time were visions for the king of Babylon, to let the king of Babylon know that his kingdom would fall and how the future would play out. That's why I'm telling you that it's not a current modern day prophecy. Though that prophecy has already taken place.
Right.
Which is why I wasn't bringing that one up.
I'm aware of that. Not only that, there are many others who have taken place. I thought I mentioned that. They were for that time. However, it seems to me that these same stories can be played out with the new modern day characters. It's something I do. And it seems to work. For instance, I don't know. I don't know. You could. It's so many ways you can connect this shit. Is fucking onion. I could make the fucking. Everybody is tied to everybody nowadays. So if they say the people of Israel, that could be 87 different people, races, so and so's countries even now. That's not really Israel because so and so. Well, the real people of Israel were in Palestine. You lead them away. Well, Israel is full of Americans. So really, them ain't even Jews. The black people are the real people of Israel. There are a million arguments here, just on one thing alone. I'm more concerned about fuck the old shit. If, and it's nothing to say, yes, Jesus could be done came back in our hearts. All of this shit could be passed. Ain't nothing guaranteeing that revelation has not happened yet. As you so fondly said, that talking about the beast rose up. It was the dragons. It was Persia. That shit happened. It's over with. There is no revelation to wait for if you are correct. Am I right?
No, in Revelation, it actually speaks. So the reason I brought Daniel up was because the reference to those world governments is the same reference in Revelation. However, in Revelation, there are 7 identified world governments versus the 4 identified in Daniel.
So who are the 4?
So the 4 were Babylon, Persia, Medio-Persia, and then later came Greece and Rome.
And so now, when they say there rose up 7 heads in Revelation,
correct.
So they were counting. Wait, let me say it anyway. They were counting really only 3 because 4 have already rose up, been destroyed, and turned to dirt. They're really only talking about 3.
3 other ones, correct. One of them was Egypt, which came prior to the 4, and then 2 more after.
So 2 come in Revelation when they talk about these things when these things are going to happen. There are only 2 modern day countries that could possibly be at play.
I apologize. It was Egypt and Assyria.
It don't really matter.
Egypt and Assyria. There's actually only 1 after Rome. I apologize. So there's 2 before Babylon. One of them's Egypt, and then the other one's Assyria. Those are identified as world powers prior to the 4. I apologize. That was my fault. There's only 1 after Rome.
Don't matter. That's irrelevant anyway. Who they were. The point I'm trying to make is I'm trying to make sure that you're saying that these things have come to pass. These things talking about in Revelation have already come to pass.
Correct. Well, no. Just one of them, 1 head on that beast. It has, and we're seeing it playing out in real time. It's still here.
Just the 1.
Just the 1, correct. And that came after Rome. So Rome obviously doesn't exist anymore as a world superpower, right?
It's called the Catholic Church.
Well, that's the marrying of the political system to the religious system, which actually does play a factor here, just so you know. I forget exactly where that's at. But regardless of that, back to this one final head. It's like a hydra, growing.
Wait. No, there's no hydra. There's no hydra. There's 1 final left.
Yeah, 1 final left. It's this last final head, and this is the one after Rome, which is basically this. It's a mixture of this religious, basically mankind throughout the history of mankind. They've been playing God, creating world governments, saying we're going to rule the world. It was exactly why the Tower of Babel was destroyed and Babylon was destroyed. I mean, these were very serious. Basically, it's a serious crime against God to basically try to rule the world, which is it's his to rule. And this is why every time world governments rise up, which there's 7 primary ones in identified in Revelation, 4 in Daniel, those world governments finally see their doom in prophecy, or for whatever prophecy has been given. Alexander's one that in the prophecy of how Rome would fall, it's actually given that Alexander would be like I forget exactly how the way it's named. It's been a while since I studied this stuff, but I do know about it, and I can find it. No problem. It's some wild shit, man. But yeah, as far as those 7 heads of that beast, it's speaking of world governments, and I want to make sure that that's pointed out. It's not, and there's a religious,
but only old world governments.
Primarily,
Yeah, the heads
wait,
are
not
representing
primarily.
world
Only
governments.
old world governments, no modern day governments.
No, they're representing modern day governments
Oh,
and revelations.
I'm asking, dude. Only old governments.
Only
right?
one is a
Only one.
day.
Could that be America?
I would say America is definitely part of it.
Yeah. When I said America at first, you said impossible. They talking about old shit.
No, I never said that. Well, I was talking about Daniel when I said that.
I said
Daniel doesn't identify America.
I said it'd be modern day America when they're talking about the beast, one of the things, the 7-horned beast and all of that shit. You cut me off and said I gotta be wrong.
No, because we were talking about the 4 in Daniel.
No.
And if we weren't, then I apologize. Then I was wrong.
Right, because we were looking for
Like I said, I'm saying the beast is money, and the heads and the horns are the representations you guys are talking about. That stuff still fits.
Okay,
But
give
the
me
beast
yours
itself
again.
is money.
Yeah, give me. Okay, let me ask the question. The beast is money,
And the heads are propped up on it. Yes.
And the heads are what?
Propped up on money.
No, motherfucking lousy fuck. That's why they tease you over there and don't like you.
Fuck them. I don't care. They can suck whatever they want to
The
suck.
beast represents money. Then the 7 heads represent
the different nations. Like he was saying, yeah.
You want to guess which ones? You got any guess?
Well, I know one of them is supposed to be a representation of Persia.
Okay.
One of them is supposed to be the whore of Babylon, which I think that's America.
Babylon, yeah.
And then you got the Vatican, or the
I think
Catholic
that's
Church
what we
in there as
started.
the
I said
Rome.
America was the new Babylon. When you said Babylon fall, I said America
Yeah.
was the new Babylon. That's what it should
I
say.
do believe that may be something, or it could be the new Israel as we know it.
And when they say bear, one of the heads was a bear. That'd be Russia. One was a bird. That could be America, where eagle. They had the face of a bear, the claws of a lion. I think that's somewhere over there in Europe. They used a lion. King Leopold, wherever the fuck that was at. They're lions.
So
These could be different
we're trying to
nations.
look at, well, what does the beast look like?
I had stopped really. I saw, and the beast that I saw was a leopard. Oh, these are all of them. I stopped at the right place. So the first one was a beast that I saw was a leopard. It had feet that were like a bear, and its mouth was like a lion. And to it, the dragon gave its power. The dragon could be the church, the money like you're talking about, gave power to these countries or that country. Then I saw another beast rise out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It exercises all authority over the first beast. It performs great signs. Let me see. I saw another beast rising out of the sea. It's a bunch of beasts in this month, summoned by the dragon. This sea was a place of chaos and danger and evil for the Hebrews. The vision draws Daniel. Now you're talking about Daniel. I'm so high I can barely see them words, bro. That was hard to even read that shit.
I mean, I could have AI tell us. Bitch, read the shit.
If we were going to do this properly, if we're going to try and interpret, I think we'd have to have some original shit, but I don't think we're qualified. It could mean so fucking much.
I know, that's why we're just kind of talking about it. It's a conversation.
I actually am qualified.
Okay, well, let's start it from the beginning somewhere. Here, I'll blow this up or something so I can see. I don't want to. I can barely see.
We're gonna have to start this one earlier next time, guys. I'm fucking getting sleepy. We stayed up so late
Okay,
last
it's fair.
night. But what I will say is we can go through it a little bit more for a minute. And then I'm gonna try to make it 20 more minutes. So that's like 11 o'clock my time.
All right, whatever you guys want to talk about there.
Okay. Well, I'm liking this conversation. I'm liking hearing the other views as well. But according to my doctrine, I'm also qualified to speak on this. So.
Oh, very good. Do this for me then, if you can, Brick. The one that we were talking about, where you said it's likely that it was still referring to a modern day beast or whatever the word was.
Right.
Can you find whatever chapter and verse that was in Revelation? Not a Daniel. We agree that you agree that it's past. So
correct.
We're looking for what's new. We're trying to find what's to come. Hints of what's to come.
Yeah. Let's see. So you were in the right place. You were talking about Revelation 13:1, and I stood up. Excuse me, and I stood upon the sand. This is actually John, of course, giving a vision, right? He's being given a vision, actually, and he's writing it down. He was told to write it down. Upon the sand of the sea, which that's a reference to the people. So the sand of the sea, like the people, basically. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So the 7 heads, this is a beast, right? So the beast is going to be essentially unstoppable. It's something that's unstoppable.
Do we still think it's countries at this point?
Yes.
The heads are representations of countries.
Well, yes, and so the beast is the entirety of the lie of history about how man can rule itself, essentially. So God is the actual ruler, whereas the beast is this lie that's being told. It's rising up out of the sea, which is a people, correct? And then it's having 7 heads. So those are the 7 kingdoms, empires throughout the world
that are running shit.
History, and it has 10 horns. So 10 horns would signify completeness. So those horns are a lie as well. They're signifying that they have the complete truth, essentially. And upon the 10 crowns, upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Essentially, now they actually are writing on the heads the actual lie that they are the rulers. So it's all pointing to essentially man ruling itself.
I think so.
Okay, so let me bring it back to how everything you just described is money. The beast is money, and all the different kingdoms with their 7 different currencies. Look at the world currencies, and they are propped up on but they're all under money. It's all propped up on top of money. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that works. The 7 different currency thing just won't hold.
Look, I'm just giving you that as a premise, so you can have
I
some
heard
nuance.
I heard it.
But each one of them has their own connection to money, and that's how they rule their kingdoms, is through money, because it's not through whipping slaves anymore. It's through corporate interest. And we can't buy or sell anything without it. And the people that are in it are stuck, because there's no way out of it right now. And getting off the grid is a lot harder than it looks.
How many beasts you think they're talking about in this book?
I'm talking about the one in Revelations. The beast itself is money, and money is represented as a god. A lot of people worship it. That's blasphemy as well.
In Revelation, I think about 8 beasts rise up. Are all of them money?
I'm talking about the one with 7 heads. The body of the beast is money. The heads are the kingdoms.
All right, just the one beast.
And you can't buy or sell. And we have their banking system. We even know most of the time in our minds how much is in our bank account.
All right, continue, Clay.
All right. So you go to the next one. It talks about the beast, which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, this one is a reference back to Daniel. This
The one that would have died out already.
correct.
All right, skip to the next one. We don't have to go to that one because I want to keep you in the conversation.
Yep. Number 3 says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now, it's referencing a specific head. In this one, it's a reference to the final head.
Wounded near dead, and all the people marveled, or something to that effect.
Correct. And so in this instance, that dual world power is believed to have been essentially the one world government that claimed its power, but it rose back up. So it's believed that that would be it's not NATO, it's the other one, the one that came.
UN?
So it's NATO and then the UN. So the world government is NATO. And then it basically the head is
they're teasing me. That siren stopped right at the end of my street there.
Oh, good.
Oh, it started up again.
I don't know.
And then the deadly wound, because it's a deadly wound. It basically would have killed that head, but that head was healed, and that's where NATO comes from. So it actually is all of the world now at this point begins to rely on, because world governments, let's be clear, they rely on treaties to do business, as you mentioned, money, with the rest of the world. And that's how law works. That's how legal application works. We're not going to do business with you until you do business with us, the corporations, all that, jazz. So right now, essentially, it's the world government that is the world government right now. It's been healed. So World War II, we saw the wounding, the deathly wound, and now it's been healed. And it's now it's NATO, essentially. All of those treaties signed. Then you go on to 4, it says, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying,
Wait. They worshipped the dragon.
Correct.
Could that be a religion that gave power to a country, the beast?
It is.
The dragon is supposed to be that, devil guy, technically.
No. Remember, we're in Revelation, and if you go back to 13:2, there's 4 beasts identified. One of them is the leopard, then it goes to the bear, the lion, and then the dragon.
Okay.
The dragon is the 4th one there. So Babylon, Media Persia, Greece, and then Rome. Rome is the final one, right? So that would be the dragon.
One of them countries gave power to this new beast. Is that what they said? Yeah, the dragon gave power to the beast.
Right. So Rome, essentially, what is Rome during the time of
the U.S.?
Well, Rome actually is the
Catholic Church.
It's the church.
Yeah.
It's actually the church. Yeah. It's literally a reference to the church. Rome, the Roman Catholic Church.
So the church gave power to the beast.
Correct. Which is NATO.
Money.
And no, it's NATO.
How does NATO get power? Through money.
So I don't know if you know this about World War II, but the Catholic Church would literally bless soldiers on both sides and send them into battle on both sides. This is literally what would happen. They would literally
Only money can accomplish this.
No, listen, they would sanctify both sides as if they were blessing them like it's holy to go into battle and kill their Christian brothers.
We heard you.
Right. No, I'm trying to make sure to emphasize it. Sorry.
Christian persecution.
Right. Well, they're doing it to themselves essentially. And this is the thing, and it even mentions that, and they worshipped the dragon, the Roman Catholic Church, worshiping that, and gave power to it. And how do you give power to it? That part is money. And they worship the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?"
It's the U.S. again.
No, because this is the dragon. Oh, no, you're right. You're right. The beast. I apologize. It's the world government itself. It's all world governments.
It will be maybe at this point, in a few years, the U.S. will accomplish these things where we got everybody in line. And now who will make war with him? But we certainly got that title, especially now with all these wars going on. We feel like we can take over because everybody's like, who can make war with that nigga?
Right, exactly. That's the world government. That's the idea behind the world government in the first place, is that nobody can say no to whoever's in power at that point, right? And it's out of the sea. It's out of the people. Again, reference to the people would be the United States or some type of allied unity, the people in charge, social contract theory, right? So in 5, it actually presents a timeline. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Okay, let's stop there for a second.
Yep.
The last Trump. Oh, shit.
Is Trump 42? I think he's 47.
45 and 47.
Okay. What's that shit? I'm gonna have to hear it again. The first, you said 2 things that I wanted to question y'all about. Can you read it again? It was on like a sentence. Clay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Yep. So, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him.
That was it. The first one, blasphemy.
Correct.
That's saying, I think me and you would agree, or maybe all of us, that's saying that I'm God as opposed to you. That would fall under good blasphemy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we all know what real blasphemy is, basically.
So who's calling themselves God? Just making me think.
Well, because
either
in that last
that
one
category.
with that Fox guy, right?
Yeah.
I was telling you to listen to him because he was saying, we have the power to shape the world.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying, shit like that. That's a blasphemy.
They would fit for blasphemy. That would fit for blasphemy. Yeah. That was.
And then he said another thing. He was saying, or it might have even been Trump that said, we have the power to do something, control something, or whatever, or the other guy. Well. So, like I'm saying, when I saw that shit, my heart kind of like dropped to my stomach a little bit, because it was just like, bro, this is some big talk, bro.
And
this is some big fucking talk.
And did they say 42 months they gave him power?
Yeah, and how long has it been since he's been in office?
How many months has Donald Trump been in office?
I found this on the web.
No, you're gonna do fuck you. We're gonna see if Google will do it for me if she wanna act weird.
I mean, I got the OG real quick.
How many months has Donald Trump been in office? Are they gonna make me do math? I don't know. One of y'all do the math because Google's not.
You want me to bust out or what?
Yeah, I think you might have to. Let me see. Inauguration would be, it don't matter. 42 months is how long? That's fucking years.
42 months.
3.5.
3.5 years.
Right, 36 plus 6. 36 would be 12, 12, 12, and plus 6.
All right. 3.5 years.
He's been in for one.
He's been in for,
as far as it, for one,
maybe a year
just
and
about.
a half or so.
So
Yeah,
I can tell you about that timeline too, where that exists, and it's something that's already happened.
All right, we got 4 minutes before I gotta lay down.
That particular
But
timeline.
tomorrow we will definitely continue the conversation, start doing research, taking notes. But remember, guys, it's gonna be 6:30 my time. All right. Right now it's about to be 11. What time is it for you?
I'm not gonna bullshit you, man. This is whatever I'm doing when I get a break. I look and see what's on the internet. I won't be remembering any of this shit. If I see you live, that's just the honest truth, bro.
That's me
All
too.
right. Well, I'm just trying to time it a little bit. So, what time is it for y'all right now?
Be doing tomorrow. It's
10 o'clock for me.
It's midnight here. I'm in Chicago.
All right. So it's 10 o'clock for you. So you're an hour ahead of, or hour behind me.
Yeah.
And what time is it for you, Joe?
Midnight.
He's on the East Coast.
Midnight. Okay, so you're an hour ahead of me.
Yeah, so we're all different.
Because it's about to be, it's about to be 11.
It's earliest for me. Yeah.
That's so funny. It's making it more confusing for me. All right, it don't matter. I'm gonna let you lay down, man.
So
it's been wonderful, man.
Joe,
yep,
it's gonna be 7:30 your time, and we're gonna go till 10:30 your time. Okay.
East Coast time.
Well, he said it was 12 right now, and when I say 12, I mean it's about to be 11 in 3 minutes.
Right for you. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So.
Then,
yeah. All right. Very
it's
good.
like 5:30 your time. That's like right after work.
We can bullshit tomorrow, or whenever I'll come.
I can stay later tomorrow because it's Friday and I got Saturday off, so we could do a late night. Yeah. Unless I end up going to the club. I don't know. I'm saying. We have to do a smoke sesh after, though.
Do that. You'll have some fun.
Shit. I don't know. If I do, I might have to have some shorties on the panel. Like, yo, what's good, this shit?
There you go. Tell them about your YouTube channel.
I'm just gonna be like, you want to be on my podcast?
Well, come on here and talk to some guys that basically have absolutely no fucking clue what they're talking about. Yeah, cool.
Pretty much. We're just learning on the go, baby.
Good way to scare them off.
We're just Mickey Mousing this shit.
All right, brother, man.
All right, later, G. All right, everybody. That was a good show. We had a smoke sesh. I know we didn't do this in a while, but I do. We ended the show earlier. I was tired. I'm still tired. Tomorrow, though, we're going to do it. I got to get my sleep schedule together so that way I can give y'all good content. And then this weekend, I'm going to be studying up. I'm going to be finding out some things, and we're going to find out what's really happening. Cheers to everybody that's been working hard. And sometimes you don't even have to do a lot to work hard. You don't even have to do a lot to work hard. You just have to deal with people without snapping. Yeah, it's hard. But thank you everybody for coming. Always fun, always a good show. I'm gonna try to get more sleep so I'm a little more energetic. All right. You guys have a good night. Peace. Uh-oh. We'll hit him with the little We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell, been a hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sheriff Joe, run up quick, tryna blow my spot. Hey.
Got a district crowd. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dot. If Molly coming to the party, Lucy want me to pop. Juicy out the eye,
can you see mine's eye?
Let me wine, dine, and dazzle your mind. If you
tryna catch up, then turn up behind. Carry it on our date, used to come by her great.
Appetizers and peach sliders for your plate. I kiwi all you plum slices. I got dice fruit for your fade. Okay. Enough with your fruity pebbles, loops, or mini chips. We eating on that A1, saucing on them dead. We real ones, we go-getters too. Go get those insons, pimps and hustlers, dude. Blowing smoke into the air. Foggy mist while we cruise. I don't play fair, but never break the rules. Smoking cigs and bottle runs. Local banging ass niggas. Bless the bottle, light them up. Got bitches hanging ass niggas. If you can see me now, maybe hating ass niggas. Where you been when I had nothing, ass nigga? Don't be coming round now. You can't hold nothing, ass nigga. Now I'm up. Here you showing up, ass nigga. With or without you, I was finna get it. Just be proud of the fact that one of us made it. EPA checks in the mix where it's hella hot. We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell finna hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sherry Joe running quick, tryna blow my spot. On the road, riding dirty, got a dish to crop. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dot. If way back when you was with me when I rolled, you be here smoking blips with me. Cups hella full, taking sips with me. Nah, I'm out here on the hustle in this industry. Yeah, grab my wifey, nuzzle up between the sheets. Kiss her softly, make that wet spot on the sheet. I'm with my cousin, have another dream. Turn the music up with a blip of the street. The money stack rising, like the hit at the peak of the day. High noon, it gets way too hot to play. Seriously, the time to get paid is all we get. Getting this day out with the ass with the 2 pieces. Knocked out KO, got that 2-piece. Eat this, you niggas that's hungry for beef, eat this. Fucking with me is a dream, y'all niggas sleepless. If I had you on the scale, y'all niggas wait place on the corner with the pill, hands out. Y'all niggas shameless, roll up to your spot, burn y'all niggas faceless. Talking all that shit, the bullets y'all niggas nameless. The SAZ rollers out here, y'all niggas ain't shit. PA checks in the mix where it's hella hot. We thirsty, so we snatch your water, go to jail now. If that shorty is your daughter, she a hella thot. And her mama bombshell finna hella drop. Pop up with my niggas, got that killer cop. Sheriff Joe run up quick, tryna blow my spot. On the road, riding dirty, gotta dish the crowd. Banging ass green grams, wait out on the dot. Grand New Entertainment, go ahead, baby.
If you do not want to change, if you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to break outside of this matrix, if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built for you, do not watch these videos. Leave this channel immediately. If you do not want any truth, if you don't want to understand, if you are not here to hear something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinions and the way they think for themselves, you do not belong here. And finally, if you are not trying to be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform and not in this empire. We are the ones, the true Americans,
that want to be free and stand as we have always stood.